go ahead and move on just like the water. Just like the water. See that? This is my wave. I don't know if you see. Just watch the wave. Watch the wave. Yo, one of my favorite parts of this show, because we've been talking about the draft, and I know this man loves this period because he gets to sit there and share with us the notes that he's broken down. 2 weeks ago, we did quarterbacks in the draft. Last week, we did O-linemen in the draft. And man, Nick, I was sitting here after you were talking about these guys. I was sitting here studying them, like, oh man, Washington, they need to get this guy. They need to get this guy. Right. But yo, what do you got for us this week, man? What wide receiver? What's going on,
man? As as Nate was talking about earlier, we have wide receivers, the guys who need to catch the ball in this particular, like the Baltimore Ravens need to catch the ball more. Maybe we could find somebody for the Ravens in this draft. No, I'm kidding.
All right.
We have what I have for you today, my friends. In my best Jesse Jackson, what I'd like to talk about today is the wide receivers in this current draft of the 2021 season.
Yes.
Sorry, I've actually met the man. I love Jesse Jackson.
I know.
There we go. I like it.
I love Jesse. But no, I got wide receivers today. And, here's the thing. In years past, you might say that, well, how does this wide receiver class kind of stack up to other ones? And again, this year it appears that the SEC has decided to have their complement again of wide receivers come out this year. Because really, 4 of the top 5 are from the SEC. So they're generally rated 4 of the top 5 are from the ever-loving SEC conference.
Okay.
But here's the interesting thing, because as you know, I also liked when I did this, like what I've done with the quarterbacks and kind of with the O-line, I've kind of put them in the order that I think they'll go. This is kind of like my, like we said, Sean, this is my take on what I've looked at, what I've talked, listened to and tried to do some research on and see where things are. And these are kind of the way I think this is going to go, because 1 and 2 for me could be interchangeable. The top 2 guys in this year's wide receiver draft are Jamar Chase out of LSU and DeVonta Smith out of Alabama. Now, both bring to you a lot of different things. Now, here's my thing, though, because as you know, in a typical wide receiver, you kind of want a guy who's like 6'2", 6'3", maybe 6'4". He's got, this big, tall guy who could go up and get the ball, and he could just run you out of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase and DeVonta Smith both are only 6'1", so not incredibly tall for receivers. But these are guys. These guys have incredible hands, and these guys can go out and get the ball for you, and that's what you want. I mean, Jamar Chase alone, as a sophomore, 2019, Jamar led FBS in receiving yards and touchdowns on his way to winning the Fred Biletnikoff Award for best receiver in college football. So Jamar's not a joke. I know a lot of people, sat out 2020, season like a lot of other guys did. And, the thing is, I think that was a smart move for Jamar when you think about it, because he lost his quarterback. Joe Burrow went to the NFL. He takes a chance with the new guy coming in, maybe not looking as great or maybe not getting, whatever the situation is. So you let your record, when you had your top line quarterback, speak for itself. And I think Jamar really, like sophomore season, 84 receptions, 1,780 yards, 20 touchdowns. This guy is a scoring machine. So if you're looking for a guy to get you in the end zone, you got to look at Jamar Chase. And again, in terms of where could Jamar, I think between the two, it's either Jamar Chase or DeVonta Smith are one of the first 2 receivers, or should be the first 2 receivers taken in this draft. Again, depends how that shakes out, who gets traded, or this team traded for a quarterback, this team did this. But I look here at the first at teams that need quarterbacks. Teams that need wide receivers. And I made an argument, of course, for the Jets at 2 taking Penei Sewell if they could to help protect Sam Darnold if they keep him, because the Jets still haven't made a move either way on what they're going to do with their quarterback. So, but I think the first receiver here that could go is at number 5 to the Bengals, because the Bengals could use some wide receiver help. And as much as Penei Sewell I thought might land there, there's a consensus now. It's starting to brew that maybe he's going to go quicker than that. That he's going to go before this. So if he goes early, like 2, 3, you got a receiver sitting here at 5'6" in this range, and the Bengals have numero 5, my friend. They got the 5th pick there, and we all know they could use some receiver help. But also number 6, that's where I'm looking, because as we know, the Philadelphia Eagles sit there at number 6, and if anybody needs receiver help, it's those Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC least. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah.
So
it is what it is.
It is what it is. You got your young quarterback in Jalen Hurts. What better than to pair him with a good young receiver coming out of college? A guy who can, like I said, guy who can go get the ball, guy who can catch. So either one of these guys, Jamar Chase, DeVonta Smith. Let me give you some numbers on DeVonta Smith, though, just to show you that this kid was no joke either. I mean, he did get in some games as a freshman. He had 8 receptions, 160 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Even that man said he only had 8 receptions, but 3 of them were touchdowns. Tell me that guy's not a touchdown machine. Sophomore year, he broke out a little bit more, but junior year was the big year, obviously. 68 receptions, 1,256 yards, 14 touchdowns. He was the first receiver to win the AP Player of the Year. Think about that for a minute. Since they inserted this, I think it was 92, first receiver to win AP Player of the Year, DeVonta Smith. Also, of course, he won the 2020 Heisman. So this guy's not a joke. And he's the first guy to do that since who, you ask? Well, the University of Michigan's own Desmond Howard, 1991, my friend.
Desmond Howard.
We all remember DeVonta, and he came to what? See, I knew that, Sean. I teed that up one for you, my brother. Desmond Howard was for you, my friend. That's for you. All right, but of course, obviously, the title game, DeVonta Smith showed I'm the man, and this is why I say either one or two could go either way. But when you have a title game where you have 12 receptions, 215 total yards, you have 3 touchdowns, you're the offensive player of the game, my friend. You're the game changer. You are a game changer. So again, 1 and 2 could be Jamar Chase, DeVonta Smith, Jamar Chase. Again, couple teams who need receivers right in that 5-6 range. Again, possibly Bengals, depending on what they do. I would prefer they go O-line to get somebody to protect Joe Burrow. But if somehow Penei is not available at 5, you go with what you need. They also need some receiver. They can use some receiving help. Again, Eagles at 6. Eagles definitely need a receiver. You got these two guys. You got these two guys here. Whatever
out of Alabama, right?
Well, I'm getting to that next. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yep. You are correct. That's number 3 on my list. Whoa, Delilah, you're jumping ahead. No, which I appreciate. I like the passion and the enthusiasm with which you're going with this. But he's nice. I promise you, number 3. That's what I told you. 4 out of the top 5 receivers are from the SEC. 2 from LSU and 2 from Alabama. Number 3 from Alabama. Since you brought him up, Jalen Waddell, right? Now again, a little smaller guy.
I didn't say his name. I said
no, I know. No, but I knew who you were talking about. Wasn't there 2 from Alabama? So I was like, excuse my receiver. I'm not trying to say to you. Excuse my receiver. Now here's the thing. Waddell is a little smaller. He's only coming in at 5'10", about 183. So this is a guy who needs to run past you. This is a speedster. This is a guy who gets to blow by you because he's not going up and doing the Hail Murray he wouldn't have caught because he's only 5'10". They would have swatted him down like a little fly.
Right.
But again, here's a guy, Alabama. You play with Mac Jones, who, again, we know was in the draft. Mac Jones could go anywhere from 1 to 30 at this point, the way they have these things listed. Who knows where Mac Jones is going to act up? Could end up with the Washington football team. Could end up on our beloved Bears, Delilah. Who knows? But he did play with phenomenal receivers. Again, DeVonta Smith and here Jalen Waddell. Excuse me. But see, the thing with Waddell is he's coming off a right ankle injury. He did return. Obviously, he got hurt in the Tennessee game in the opening game of the year 2020. He was returning a kickoff and got an ankle injury. But he did return for the national championship game. So he wanted to make sure his name got out. He's like, no, I'm here. I'm playing. I'm not kidding with you guys. But again, when you look at numbers, we all look at numbers and we all say, hey, what does this guy got? What can this guy do? 2018, 45 receptions, 848 yards, 7 touchdowns. 2019, 33 receptions, 560 yards, 6 touchdowns. Mind you, playing aside DeVonta Smith. So again, weapons all around for Mac. And this is the other thing. This is an important thing because even going back to Nate in his notes with making the quarterback maybe look a little bit better than what he is. These guys made Mac Jones his stock probably rise a little bit. Not because Mac Jones is not the most talented guy. Mac Jones is not the most talented guy in the draft, but he's an Alabama quarterback, and he was able to throw to guys who could go get the ball, who could catch it. You make the quarterback look better. Thus, hey, Mac Jones, we got to look at that guy. Let's see what he did. Look at his numbers. Well, look at who he was throwing to. You got to look at that too.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah. So Jalen Waddell coming in at 3, and again, you're looking, you're going, hey, who sits at number 11? But the New York Football Giants. And I think we all know that the Giants could definitely use some receiver help in this particular draft. So again, depending on how these quarterbacks go and how this ends up, but number 11 sitting there in a pretty good position is the Giants to pick up one of these top 3-4 receivers to really help Daniel Jones. Hopefully you get Saquon Barkley back. You don't know how he's going to be after the injury. Like you got the potential for some good stuff in New York. If they can ever get this together and really get on the same, and stop complaining about what the Eagles did or whatever else they were complaining about at the end of last year. So anyways, again, don't cry, baby. Take care of your business. You handle yourself. But,
exactly.
So number 4. Yeah, number 4. Number 4, I kind of slipped in here. He's one of these guys who could be from 4 to maybe 8 or 9, depending on how teams value. Kadarius Toney, wide receiver out of Florida. 5'11", 194. A guy can go get the ball. Again, not the tallest guy, but can go get the ball outside, can play in slot a little bit, 70 receptions, 984 yards, 10 touchdowns. So the guy can get in the end zone. And that's what you want. Again, you're looking for a guy who can complement your offense, especially when drafting receivers out of college. Like, because you get some of these guys, again, SEC likes to throw the ball, offense. And so you get these guys coming out of these SEC schools, and like Jerry Jeudy, take for instance, guys coming out of Alabama. I looked for that kid like last year when I saw he went to Denver. I'm like, good pick for Denver. Let's get him a quarterback to throw him the ball. Right. Drew Lock is the answer there, but a guy like Jerry Jeudy, same out of that Alabama system. This guy's going to run. He's going to go get you the ball, and that's just the way it is. So much in the same mode again. SEC, they throw the ball. They love that. But yeah, Kadarius Toney sitting here at number 4. And again, when you look at possible teams, again, we know this changes daily, and there's teams that everybody. But you got a Patriots team at 15. I've heard rumors of them wanting to trade up, maybe to get a quarterback, which I could see too. But again, the Patriots need receiving help. Can you name, how many different second tier receivers did they have on that team?
Right.
So again, Patriots.
The one I know was N'Keal Henry.
There you go. See, right? There you go. But again, that could go either way, But Patriots could use some receiving help. Belichick is a guy who has an eye for talent, and you could see one of these guys again, Kadarius Toney, if he's available there. If they want to gamble with that, you go that route. And the next guy is again from LSU, from the LSU powerhouse, Terrace Marshall Jr. Now here's a little bit big, guys. A little bit bigger, 6'3", 201.
Right.
That's right. This is what you want. That's a prototypical wide receiver to me. 6'3", at least, 6'3", 200 pounds. This guy's going to go up there. He's going to hurt you because he's going to fight with you. He's got some weight on him. You know what I'm saying? He's going to bruise in there. He only played 7 games, though, in this past season. But he's a big guy. 731 yards, 10 touchdowns. Again, find the end zone. That's what you want these guys for, right?
Exactly.
10 TDs in 7 games with not Joe Burrow. So there you go. LSU coming out the gate with 2 receivers. Alabama coming out of the gate with 2 receivers. You throw in a Kadarius Toney, and the SEC's on fire, my brother. Let me tell you. So let's go outside of the SEC for a moment, shall we? And again, Terrace Marshall, here's a guy who could go late 20s. You're looking at teams up at the top, and again, depending on what the Browns do, and depending on what happens with Odell, maybe you replace Odell with a Terrace Marshall Jr. at 26, and get a 6'3", 12-run receiver to run with my boy Jarvis Landry. You got 2 studs out here throwing the ball. So again, anything to make Baker right is what that's the slogan. That should be the slogan for 2021. Let's make Baker better. That's
Make
Right.
Baker better. Yes.
I love that slogan.
Let's make Baker
love
great
it.
again. That's what it should be.
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of have a soft spot for Baker. I think it's a bad rap, but
Hey,
make Baker
I
better. So
called the Browns almost make it to the Super Bowl. So
that's right. Cleveland needs to win again. LeBron left, came back, left. Going outside again of the SEC, we have Tutu Atwell out of Louisville, but he did forego his senior season again to enter the draft. This seems to be a pattern for a lot of these guys. They really didn't want to take a chance on their stock dropping. So a lot of guys not knowing what the COVID thing would be, they decided, let's sit out. I'm going to let my numbers speak for themselves and see where they are. A lot of boards he's listed 6, 7, 8, depending on what how you view it. But he's a little smaller guy, so he could be more of a slot receiver, 5'9", 165. So this is a guy who you're not going to have him running 60-yard patterns out. But if you need a guy to maybe for the middle, you need 4. Again, we like to call those possession receivers. It's third down, you need 4 yards. Throw this guy on a little slant or something. Boom, there's your first down. So
I like the little guys when they do good moves.
Slot guys.
How good is Cooper Kupp? Like in that sense, Cooper Kupp's not a big guy.
I'm thinking, and I think of Cole Beasley. I love him.
Yep.
I like Cole Beasley. And look at what he did for Buffalo this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Seriously.
I love him. So
targets games. You just saw, Cole Beasley. Really, totally. And so again, a little smaller guy, but again, a guy who's going to be competitive. He's going to get in there. He's going to get the ball for you. And this is exactly what you're looking for. One more guy, Rashod Bateman. I'm out of Minnesota, and the reason I mention him, he's about 7th on the list. But think about this. I don't know if you guys see this is where my my fandom of Northern Illinois comes into play, my friend. Rashod played for a coach named PJ Fleck, who was a Northern Illinois wide receiver in the early 2000s. And he was on the team. If I remember correctly, my Northern Illinois Huskies at that 2003 season were undefeated. They were ranked in the top 10 for the first time ever until Bowling Green decided to dash all our dreams, and that was a terrible game, and I don't want to talk about it. But that year, we had beaten the first 3 games. We beat Iowa State, Maryland, and who was the third victory? We won our first 3 games that year. People started to catch on, and one of the reasons why was PJ Fleck was the starting receiver on that Northern Illinois team. So this guy recognized, he's an offensive guy. Minnesota has done a lot better with PJ Fleck. They got that brand new facility up in Minnesota that they built for them, and he's got the team believing. And here you go. This is proof of that. You got a guy coming in, possibly 7 or 8 receivers. So this could be a late first round, early second round guy. Again, for teams that need receiving help, second round picks are extremely important. Maybe the Chiefs decide they want to bulk up their receiving core a little bit. Maybe even the Buccaneers at 32, something like that. Something going into the second round leading to this. So I don't know. Again, the quarterback situation is kind of what's throwing a lot of this off because you don't know.
Right.
Do the Jets see Sam Darnold? No.
Right.
Do the Panthers stick with Bridgewater? Trade for something else? Like there's so many questions, which is why I will announce this here. You heard it here first. The first official Nick Rosario mock draft will be out next month. I will reveal to you for the first time my mock draft next Monday. You will see what's in my mind and what I think is going to happen.
Man,
so again,
this is going to be exciting.
I've decided to highlight today. Nate looks like he wants to say something or he wants to choke me. I'm not sure which one.
So can I ask now, Nick, or should I wait till next week?
No, you ask me whatever you want, sir. Except what my middle name is.
Probably go ahead and wait till next week, and you can just say that for something.
I think I'm gonna say that till next week.
Okay, I'm with you. So next week mock draft comes out, and I'm sure everybody will have millions of questions for me because I'm nuts.
I need to know where in your mock draft what Baltimore's going to take. So
I can't wait. I can't wait to see Nick Rosario's mock draft.
What crazy predictions I have. Let me tell you, I'm picking up that box, baby. I'm going for it.
Yes.
This has been building up for. This is why Nick's been doing each week a different draft that he's been covering. We're just building up for Nick's draft. This is what we've been waiting for, Nick. Thank you for that. I've seen so many. Only person on there, and he's probably not going to get picked up in the first from Purdue.
Yeah.
Love him. I want him slot, but I don't know if it's gonna. If that's
I just don't.
But go ahead.
He's probably a good middle to second round, maybe third round pick. The kid out of Purdue. So you got to kind of see.
I say second round.
Again. Second round, yeah. I mean, again, second round, depending again. What do teams need after they settle their quarterback situations and all that? So, there's so much. There's too much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it has to be on what people need, what positions, what things they need. So